Hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going? It looked like I have too much lighting here. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can change it. Does that work? I don't know. If it's too much lighting, you guys just let me know. I'll try to find a way to adjust it somehow. Um, well, welcome back to another live feed. For those that's just joining, what I want you to do is like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Again, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Not sure how long this video is going to go today, but I'm going to jump right into it. I've received countless emails from subscribers and non-subscribers, people that just came across my videos um, that have an interest in hiring. Excuse me. Um, I, that had a lot of people come across my videos that have an interest in hiring people for their new commercial and residential cleaning business, and so I got asked many questions about it. A lot of times people are afraid to delegate that work out. People, they don't know where to start in terms of hiring people, and I understand it very much, especially in the very beginning, because it's kind of like you don't want to mess up, you know. So it's like when you start in the business and you're doing it yourself, it's kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to hire somebody right now because of the fact that, I don't even want to mess up, so I don't want anybody else to mess it up for me. So that's kind of the mentality, behind it a lot of times. And what I find is that it's not as bad as you think. It's really not. As long as you set out the groundwork, you let people know exactly what it is you need them to do, a lot of times they will follow suit and they will do it, especially if they know that you'll be coming back around and checking on them. So that's what I would suggest. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. That's what I would suggest. A lot of you guys to do is, number one, start with yourself, right? Train yourself in each account that you pick up. Okay, it's a lot of people on my subscription list here that have business that's drummed up pretty great deal of business, making in excess of $5,000-6,000 a month in revenue, but they're doing all the work themselves. So for them to be doing that by themselves, that's a pretty good revenue stream. Like they make it pretty good because they don't have to pay anybody out, but it will get to wear and tear on your body after so long of doing that. And you have to think, why did you start a cleaning business? Did you start it because you wanted to be an entrepreneur, which means you wanted to delegate the work out? Or did you start it because you wanted to be self-employed, which a lot of people don't have a problem with it. They want to work within the business, and make all the revenue, and that's fine. Um, but um, for the people that tell me they don't have the money to pay for an employees, it's other ways around it. You have to set up different type of deals, right? In other words, if you can't afford to pay weekly because your revenue isn't set up like that, or you can't afford to pay monthly because you don't have the monthly, I'm sorry, you can't afford to pay bi-weekly because the revenue isn't there, and they're paid monthly, right? So when the client pay you once a month, there's a lot of commercial cleaning companies out there, believe it or not, a lot of them. You just have to be upfront and honest with the people and let them know, hey, we pay out once a month, right? But there's a lot of commercial cleaning companies out there, franchise and non-franchise alike, that pay their employees once a month. Now, I tend to pay my employees bi-weekly, but for those of you that revenue is a problem, what you might want to do for those that's already been working this thing for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, whatever, however many months you've been working it, you should be building up a nest excuse me, a nest egg. Okay. And another thing I want you guys to get out, although it would be nice, don't so much worry about making a profit on your very first year. Okay. Because the margins won't be what you expect them to be your very first year. you know um, and it's not because of overhead. It's just there's a lot of other things to your first year. No one jump out the gate and really start making a whole hell of a lot of money in this industry as far as annual revenue. Now, don't get me wrong, that don't mean it can't be done, but it's generally not done, right? So don't worry about the margins. Don't worry about just focus more on structure, because the margins itself is going to take care of itself later on, right? But once you build a system and you focus on structure, then that will run itself ultimately in the long run, right? So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Just think structure over margins right now. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I know how important it is to make money. I know people need the money. I know, you know, bills are due. I get it. I understand everything, but just don't ponder over how much rank. Hey, how are you, bud? Shout out to Atlanta. Just don't ponder yourself over the fact that, you know, your margins got to be super high, or you got to have these type of margins. Okay. Focus on structure and system. Structure and system. So if you're writing this stuff down, write that down. Structure and system. You want to have a great structure, and you want to build a phenomenal system, because the system will run itself, right? Once you have that structure, that foundation is there, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. But to get back on topic, as far as not having the money and pay employees, what you might want to do, like I said, is pay them once a month. So when you get the check in, you pay them. Now the thing is that it's kind of hard to see, if you're being paid on time, because let's say, for an example, you're not being paid on time from a client. You will get paid because, you did the work, so you must get paid. But it's just a matter of when they're going to pay you, right? So you want to have a system for that, right? You want to have, just a format for that. So when clients pay you late, you know how to deal with that. You have some type of structure. You have some type of system for that. Okay, now, genuinely speaking, they won't pay late, okay? Genuinely speaking, almost every month, a client will pay you on time for the most part. They don't set out just to pay you late. Like in 2017, I probably can count on my whole one hand how many people, out of all the clients that I had, how many people paid me late. They genuinely don't pay late. They know when the bill is due. Now just make sure you get the invoice off to them, right? Make sure you invoice them, because if you don't invoice them, they're not thinking about the cleaning company in the back of their head, right? So that's why it's important to invoice them. You invoice them, you let them know what's due, let them know the date that it's due by, and usually the check is there. Whether they mail it out, whether you charge it on a charge card, or whether you go pick it up. So usually, like holidays, see, somebody said something about holidays, end of month holidays. Yeah, David. Usually around the holidays, a lot of times they cut the check early, and the check is available, just because a lot of times maybe it's so close to the holidays when you're supposed to get paid, right? Or you might have invoiced them around or a little after the holiday and the office is still closed. So a lot of times they look out ahead. Like they say, hey, the check is ready. It's on the top desk or on the top shelf or whatever the case is. They let you know where it is and you get it. You guys might want to, and I'm hopping off the subject, I'm going to get right back on it, but you might want to look into getting a little square, right? You plug into your phone. You might, that's a starter, right? You can use that. They got apps out for, like payment systems, like cash apps and things like that. You guys might want to just look into, just be creative. Just look into different things or just go all the way and get yourself a processor, a credit card processor. You'll be amazed at how many people turn over their credit card information and just allow you to bill them on credit card. That way to take the headache out of them. From the office, you just let them know, hey, we're switching over. You don't even have to verbally tell them. You can do like a side note when you do your invoicing. Just make it be aware and just have an attached sheet. Square feet too high. I'm not sure what you're asking me. You can have like an attachment sheet where they can put in their information, right? And you can pick that sheet up from them and then have all the credit card information, yada, yada, yada. You can file it, just put it into a computer system, or you just keep it on paper, right? And put it into their file, to their little folder. And then you just bill them once a month. And that'll take the headache out of worrying about a check or going to pick up a check itself. But like I said, to get back to, the employees, paying your employees, you can do it. You can do it on a once-a-month thing. I clean houses because they pay the day of. Yep. Houses pay when you do residential. They pay the day of. I give my commercial accounts a good rate to pay. Day cleaning. So your commercial accounts pay you daily? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So, and another thing, you guys can also break your contracts up, right? So the vast majority of your contracts might be a net 30. And you can do a net 15, which is typically like bi-weekly, right? It's 30 days in a month, 15 days. So bi-weekly you can do a net 15, right? Which is basically you billing them every 15 days. Okay? So, excuse me. So that will keep your income level coming in. That way you don't have to wait 30 days for all of your accounts to pay out, right? You have some accounts that pay out bi-weekly. You have some accounts that pay out monthly. So when it comes down to paying your employees, what I would suggest you do for the people that email me and say, hey, Fabio, I want to hire, I'm kind of tired of doing this by myself. I need to hire somebody that's either scared or don't know how to go about to hire somebody. Number one, there's nothing to be afraid of. Once you know what it is that needs to be done, you just train somebody effectively to do it, right? To do it as if they were you, and then you follow up behind them. That's essentially what I do when I'm here. I'm doing these videos here, but I got camera action right here. I can actually see my employees right here on camera, and if I need to make a phone call, I can just pick up the phone and say, hey, I see you. You didn't do this, didn't do that. Now, it's not always going to be that easy. You might not have a setup like this. But when you're able to go to the account, you just kind of walk behind. It's a notice thing. They forgot to do this. You're going to either help them out and you do it yourself, or you can kind of point it out to them so they can do it. I like to point it out to them because if I do it, then they may never know. Like if I say, well, I emptied the trash in the back, then they might always forget that. But if I say, hey, don't forget the trash in the back, then they're somewhat remembering. And then you have a checklist, right? So you make sure everything is checked off on your checklist, right? Your daily is like a daily report, your daily checklist. But then that's just a document, right? That's just another document. Sometimes shit happen. They forget to check something off, or they didn't do something on the checklist and they got to go back. So the checklist just kind of give you a format, just kind of give you an overall overview of what needs to be done, and just for you to check it off if you did it or not. So, but it's not like the 10 Commandments or anything. Like, it's not the stone, that it's the, you guys get what I'm saying, right? So anyway, that's how I would suggest that you do it. Net 15 or net 30. If you pay your employees, you can pay them bi-weekly. I'm not really big on weekly because for me it's just like a lot of work to just prepare that. Or then you can just see if you want employees. Some of you might want to 1099 them. You might want subcontractors. It's entirely up to you. It's your business, right? I do employees. You might want to do a 1099 thing. But you have to be fair. You have to be honest with them up front. Don't have them thinking that they're going to get paid bi-weekly or weekly if you know you don't have the funds to do that. Like I say, there are many, many companies out there that pay once a week. I'm sorry, they pay once a month. I'm sorry. So you just have to let them know, hey, we pay out once a month and we pay out on the whatever date, right? The end of the month, the top of the month, the middle of the month, whatever the case is. You just have to let them know. And then you have to make sure the check is there. So what I would suggest you do for those is self-employed right now that hasn't converted over really into the entrepreneurial realm, what I would suggest you do is continue to work the accounts that you're working in now by yourself, right? Build up a a nice little nest egg, right? And this is like the pot for your employees. Okay, so and then you don't have to be like me and start just hiring a lot of people right out the gate. You can just hire one person and you work with them, right? They do one building, you do another building, right? At the end of the night, they might not have the key and the code. You might have the key and the code. So at the end of the night, you let them know, hey, a half an hour before you guys, before you're done, give me a call. Let me know you're almost finished. And then you head back over to the site. You can lock it up, secure it, whatever the case is. Unless you're just going to leave them with the key and the code. That's entirely up to you. I wouldn't tell you exactly how to do that. But if you decided to do that, you do it. Not cool. But I like to kind of follow up and make sure things is working the way it's supposed to be working. So I go to a lot of my sites all the time. So if you guys have any more specific questions, I could definitely answer that. Hopefully I clarified the as far as paying the employee, it's not a really big thing. Oh, a lot of people ask me about taxes and taking it out. You can do that. You can get you an accountant, or you can start with QuickBooks, or I know a lot of people, including myself in the very beginning, I just cut the check. I didn't take taxes out in the beginning because number one, I wasn't making a whole hell of a lot, so I don't think I was looking at it like the government wasn't been missing anything. I wasn't making a whole hell of a lot, so I would just pay them straight check. If it was for $400 and that's what they would do, and that's what the check would be made for, $400, right? And I did that for probably about 6 months. Yeah, about 6 months, and by that time I was making enough money. I started with a smaller accounting firm, and they would kind of do it, do the payroll for me. And then I branched up, after that, and I started making even more money because I'm getting more contracts and things of that sort. And before long, bam, I'm with Paychex. So, and that's who handle my payroll to this day, Paychex. So, that would be the best simplistic way I would suggest that anybody deal with employees. If you have a residential service, it's the same format. Actually, to a certain degree, it could be easier for residential because you can get paid weekly or you can get paid daily. Me, I would never like to get paid daily because it'll feel like I'm not getting anything. So if you had to cut me a check and money was a factor for me, I would at least allow you to do it weekly. Okay, I would at least allow you to do it weekly. But if I didn't trust the hand of the person that I'm cleaning for, and I'm thinking like, okay, I may not get all the money, then of course I might consider taking it daily. But I feel like when you get paid daily, depending on even if it's a couple $100, right? Like $250, $300, it's a lot of money. but it can go so fast. Opposed to if you wait the end of the week where you could get even more. Like the check could be a lot bigger, unless you clean once a week. If you clean once a week, then it don't matter when you get it, right? That's all you're gonna get for the week. So if you all you get is 300 for just the one day, then that's what you got coming, right? So that's how I feel about it, man. I don't think you guys should stress out about it. It's just um, the nature of the beast. Just continue to train yourself. Always stay vigilant. Always stay training yourself. That way, when you do go to hire somebody else, you know exactly how to train them and which way you should train them. Let me see. Can I talk about employees' fault damages? Do you pay out of pocket or your insurance company? Well, it depends on what it is. It depends on what it is, David. So let's take residential. Let's say you got a residential cleaning, residential or commercial, or both, right? And you just knock some crystals over, right? So you knock the crystals over off the coffee table, and the crystals break. Depending on how much the crystals is, number one, you want to let them know that you made a mistake. So you want to be honest about that. Number two, depending on the worth of them and how much they worth, if it's a few $100, $400, $500, go ahead and pay out of pocket. But if you fuck something up in the excess of thousands of dollars, then you might want to make a claim. Okay? You might want to make a claim. So it's a lot of ways you can pay that back. You can cut the deduction of the pay. You can say instead of making 300, let's say for a cleaning you could take 2. You give them 100, and you just work it off the billing like that. So if you owe them a few $100, then you make, let's say, $300 a week in terms of cleaning this particular facility. This is all hypothetical stuff, you guys. Then you just take off, $200 in increments. So you say, $100 out of the first week, another $100 out of the second week, and then out of the rest of the week you get that money, right? Because they were only asking for, let's say, $200. That's the way I would do it. I would just pay out of pocket all the time, unless it's something very, very big, something very, very major. And that's no problem, and that's the same thing with the office cleaning side of things too. If you make a mistake, that the handle fell off of something or whatever, because a lot of the stuff could be broke already. It's just prop. It's just waiting for somebody like you and I to walk in and just not know about it, and then we instantly thought we broke it, we did it. Hey bro, do you know how much was in Georgia Tech? What you mean present is Georgia taxes? Georgia payroll taxes. I'm not sure what you're asking me, but are you asking me how much is Georgia taxes? I'm not sure what you're asking. But that's how I would suggest that you guys handle the employees. I feel like you could start hiring ASAP. Actually, I would suggest that you hire ASAP. Start with one person. Treat them right. They'll treat you right. Right? You pay them out. You'll have them for a very long time. You will. You have them as long as you treat them right. Give them respect. Give them credit when they do something, because everybody like to be, everybody like to get credit, for doing a good job. Kalia, what's up, bud? What's up? So everybody like to do or get credit for doing a great job. So in that regard, give them credit when they do something great, right? Say, hey, I noticed you did this, or you're coming on time, or whatever the case is. Even though they're supposed to do this stuff, just make them feel good, and they'll praise you. They'll tell other people like themselves about you. They'll wear your paraphernalia, your hats, your hoodies and things like that. They'll love working for you. So, which is why I really don't have any problems in the employee. People ask me all the time about employees. I really don't have any problems with my employees. Besides the typical stuff, they either get pregnant on me, or the call-offs. On Fridays you get those a lot. Because that's club, that's payday, things like that. They want to get their hair and nails. I don't have any guys work for me, but so it's just a female thing, right? They get their hair and nails, toes, none of that type of thing. So, but outside, for the most part, they normally at work. Whenever I hire, it causes more problems. Oh, wow. Let me ask you, why does it cause problems? Why does it cause problems? You said whenever you hire, it causes more problems. Why? What's the problem? What's the problem? Sorry, percent. Okay, so you want to know. Do I know how much percent is Georgia payroll taxes? No, but it'd be easy to find. Just look it up. Just type in on Google, Georgia payroll tax percent. They don't care enough. They're late. Where do you get your employees from? You say they don't care enough and they're late. Where do you get them from? See, because all of this plays in a factor. Most no problem, Orion. All of this plays a factor. Where you get them from. A lot of times people want to put their friends on, like people that work for you want to put their friends on, right? But if they're not a good employee, a lot of times the college students. Wow. Well, I think you need to diversify a little bit. And it's not really, and that surprised me because I've had a lot of college students that work for me, and I did pretty well. Everybody that works for me is female. I don't have not one male employee, and that's state to state, whether it's Georgia. Well, I can't say because I'm not in Georgia and we still hire and fire. So I don't know really. I know in Michigan and Ohio for sure. I know we don't have any like male employees. We have all female. But the biggest headaches that I have is, they either get pregnant on me, right? Or, like I said, hair, nails, this type of thing they call off. You know, they kind of catty sometimes, but they do a terrific job. But I really don't have any problems out of my employees. And if you want to know where I get them from the likes of Indeed, some from Craigslist, Facebook, like Facebook groups. Every uh, city has this employment. So for let's take Detroit, you know, they had Detroit Employment Group or whatever. And let's take Cincinnati Employment Group. Now these are just groups that you can join and place an ad and get employees. Like I could put an ad right now. I swear to God, I could put up an ad right now as a test in Detroit, and you're gonna hear my phone go dumb when I tell you it's gonna go dumb. But that's because in my area, people kind of know who I am already. I've built a certain brand, so a lot of people want to work for me anyway, right? They're just waiting for me to put up that type of thing. But anyway, I could put up an ad right now. Um, you know, looking for employees, and my phone will go through the roof. All you got to do is put in there and, you know, inbox me on Facebook with your name and number, and I'm gonna call you and give you details, or send your resume to ABC. 1 second, you guys. Hello. Hey, what's up, love? I'm on YouTube Live. No, you're okay. What's going your way? Oh, you almost done. All right, well, just phone me when you're done. I'll probably be done by then. All right, love. Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, I could put an ad up in the Facebook group, and then the ad will go through the roof, right? So like people will really be sending me resumes or inboxing me their name and their numbers and things like that. And then at that point, all you have to do, bud, is just go ahead, one by one. You just evaluate them. Look at their Facebook page. That's what I like about Facebook, because you can kind of get a feel for who you're gonna be working with. You know, if they real catty and you see a bunch of drama on their page, right? You know, just make a note. Just make a mental note, and don't contact that person back, right? Or if you see somebody page and you kind of get a good vibe from them, then call them up. You know, because employers checking Facebooks and Instagrams and all of that stuff these days anyway. So why not you? So all you have to do, once again, let me see. I think that was Rink. Yeah, Rink. Oh yeah, no problem, bud. All you have to do is just go in to Facebook, your city, find a group, you know, for people that's looking for work in your city. I don't know what's the name of the group could be called. Now, I know in Detroit it's like Detroit Employment Group or something like that, right? So you might have whatever your town is, employment group. Just place an ad. Now hiring cleaners for janitorial service, evening, part time, making X, Y, and Z, you know, per hour, however you word it, right? Um, to apply, send me your name and your number, or, you know, send your resume to da 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 da. You know, whatever your email is, whatever email you got designated for resumes. And then evaluate the resumes and get a feel for them. Then, you know, call, you know, 5 tomorrow, 5 the next day, because you're probably going to get a huge response. So you can do that. You can do Craigslist. You can do Monster, stuff like that. Indeed. I've even placed ads in newspapers before. Don't do that too much, because why should I, when I can use likes of social media where a lot of people with that are already looking for jobs, right? You just put an ad there and then they contact you. So, but yeah, that's how I would do it. Um, I would never hire a family member. I remember when my mother hired a family member who wanted to work under her. Yeah, family members not a good approach. Uh, Family members just too comfortable. They just because they're family, they know who you are, right? So they don't take you serious. They don't respect your business. They don't respect your craft. You know, they might tell you, yeah, my cousin Fabio, he has a business. I could put you on. They make a lot of promises, you know, and I hate that too. Yeah, my cousin Fabio, he could put you on, or, you know, well, I don't know. I probably can get you work. My uncle owned a cleaning business, so I probably can get you on working with him. And so I kind of hate when people do that, you know, but sometimes it happens. But yeah, family I would never hire. You guys got any questions for me? Any questions? Any comments? Like I said, I just wanted to cover this video because a lot of people on my subscription list actually have cleaning business, actually making some money, but they're making $6,000 a month, but it's just them, right? $6,500 a month, but it's just them. They're doing all the cleaning, all of the work, and all of that, and they're trying to break out of that because they're just so tired. They're so exhausted. They don't have a life every day that they work, including weekends, because that's just the way their schedule is set up. So I'm trying to get you guys from that self-employment mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. Self-employment just basically means you're working within the business, right? You're self-employed. You employ yourself, right? Entrepreneur is just like the likes of Gates, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, um, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hall. These type of people. These are entrepreneurs. These people that have people working for them. So they delegate their work out, which ultimately allow them to pay more attention to the marketing and the development stage of their company, of their business. So, and both of them are pretty important, but I feel like you can't expect a good employee on minimum wage. So you got to be willing to pay them just a tad bit more, even if it's $1 more. They'll feel happy $1 more on top of whatever the minimum wage is, or $1.50. They respect you a lot. Do and kind of go the extra mile for you. I know it happens for me a lot, so, but I'm pretty established. We pay out pretty good. Guys, got any more questions? Any more questions, you guys? Because, like I say, the hiring process isn't that bad, right? Like for your employees, it's really not that bad. A lot of people, like they say, they're scared. They want to hire, but they're scared to do it. Because some people are just introverted. All right, good night, bud. No problem. Glad I could help you. Some people are just introverted and they just don't want to deal with people. And then some people, they want to hire, but they just kind of scared to hire for whatever reason. Just because they don't know the person. Because they put in a stranger in the building that they're not really even familiar with. But it's just something that has to be done. That's the only way you're going to make the money and be as profitable as you want to be. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Got some calls to make and do a few things. Let's see. What you mean, what's the catch? I don't understand what you're asking me, Frank. What you mean, what's the catch? Not doing this for free. Are you asking me what's the catch to me providing this information? The catch is you probably need to watch more of my videos to figure out what the catch is, because there is no catch. I provided a lot of great information here on my YouTube channel, and I do have a few things that I could promote, I could sell, but I hardly ever mention. But what I would like for you guys to do is, I guess this would be the catch, is to like, subscribe, and share my videos. So that's the catch. But there is no catch, if that's what you're talking about. I'm not sure. You guys got any more questions? More questions, concerns?
So eat. Hungry. What do you do with the microwave? What happened to the microwave that was in here?
I have no idea.
Well, son of a bitch. I'm gonna cook something and then I got to go to the other side, I guess.
You guys got any questions? Okay. No problem, Frank. It's no problem. You're probably a new subscriber or something, or you might be new to my channel, so I get it, because a lot of people be offering stuff and selling stuff, and like I said, I do have some stuff that I could promote and sell, but I don't depend upon YouTube to pay my bills. Like, I actually have a real business, so I'm gonna eat either way. But yeah, no problem. But so. You guys got any more questions for me? Any comments? Any suggestions? Anything you guys going through that's that I might haven't mentioned on this particular video, or may have never heard me mention, period, or I will utilize me, you guys, while you have me. If you have questions, I will pile them in, because if you notice, my I don't go live too much anymore, because I just get so busy. This year is coming to an end, the end of the year. So it's time to, check the revenues, see where you're at, see if you're up, see if you're down. Books are going to be closing. What's the best franchise to buy into? I would tell you to do your due diligence, because I'm independent, so I'm not even sure what to tell you in that regard. But I would just tell you do your research, and wherever you feel, your heart lay, then that's where I will go. Just look at everybody. Take your time. Me, I'm pro independent, but I would never tell anybody not to grow a franchise if they're looking at that. For those that don't know if they should go independent versus franchise, I would just say weigh the pros and the cons. I don't want to deal with payroll. What is your suggestion? If you don't want to deal with payroll, the only thing that I could tell you to do is hire somebody, that specialize in there. Whether you get a freelance person, you can get a freelance person, have them work with QuickBooks. You can order the QuickBooks software program, and they can work that program for you. They may or may not understand it. You can actually place an ad looking for a HR specialist or somebody that handles payroll, right? You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on Indeed, on Monster. See if you can find somebody freelance. Maybe put an ad up on Craigslist. Jeez. Put an ad up on Craigslist, right? And see where it goes. Just kind of put it out there. Commercial cleaning company looking for HR personnel, or payroll personnel, now hire payroll personnel for a cleaning company, whatever. You kind of worried to put an ad up on the book, see who bite, check their references, check their background, if they worked for a firm before or they're independent or whatever. It's ways to do it, bud. Or let me see, sweetie. I think it's Nancy. Nancy. Yep. That's what I would suggest you do. Just find somebody. Once again, just find somebody that's willing to do it for you at a reasonable price. You guys come up to a negotiation on how you're going to pay them. As long as the fee, I should say, is cool for them and it's cool for you, then go ahead and hire them, give them a shot. But you want to make sure that they know what they're talking about, so you want to check their references if they have any. Any more questions, you guys? I want to answer you guys' questions. Like I said, I don't get a chance to go live too much anymore, so I would really take advantage of me while you guys can, if you have any questions. Otherwise, a lot of times you guys email me and they sit for weeks on end before I can get to them. I get so many emails. Guys, have any questions? Anything? Do you understand what I've said thus far in this video? Do you need any clarification? You have any questions? You have any examples for me? Anything that you're going through with your business right now as I speak in regards to, whatever, employees, administration part, marketing, retention levels, attrition, anything? You guys got anything? What type of questions do you ask on your applications when hiring people? You know what? You could just use just a generic application to start with. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can just type in applications online, and they got so many templates. It's insane. You just print off the one that you think is the best fit for you. Just a regular application. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can go to Staples or Home Depot, and you can buy applications actually by the pack. Where's the best place to buy your supplies? The janitorial supply house or supply store. That's the best place to buy them. No problem, Calvin. Yeah, no problem. Best place to get the supplies, your janitorial supply house. You just Google that in your city. So if you're in Baltimore, you just say janitorial supply store in Baltimore. Baltimore, Maryland. And, whatever come up, you get to calling them, and then you just pay them a visit. Do a little tour of the store, see what everything that they have in there, and voila. Just establish some credit with them. Any more questions, you guys? You guys got any more questions for me? All right, well, it looks like you guys are done with your questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. Until next time, I wish I could tell you exactly when I'll be back on live. But like I say, this year is coming to an end, and quickly. So I'm kind of getting ready for the holiday season. It's always busy around that time of the year for us. So it's just a blessed thing. I'll be looking at my numbers. Like I told you guys, I kind of gauge my revenue based on quarters. It's 4 quarters in a year. So I just try to make sure I'm up revenue-wise where I'm at. Try to make sure I reach my goals. Try to plan out my goals, at the end of this year, going into 2018, so I kind of know what it is I'm looking forward doing. Try to come up with more creative ways. Thanks for the insight, bro. You're welcome. I'm just trying to come up with more innovative ways to navigate this industry. I just want to be the difference in the industry. I don't want to be the guy that's like everybody else, right? I try to do something different, which is why I promote myself in a different way. I use the power of the media. I'm pretty decent at getting media attention. I like that because not necessarily so I can just be on radio or be on television, but I like it because no one else is willing to do it, right? Just like I ask people all the time, how many lawyers do you see on TV? If I ask you guys that, how many lawyers do you see on your local TV every day? You guys probably can at least give me 3 to 5 lawyers. But if I ask you guys how many commercial cleaning businesses you see on TV advertising, on the news, on the radio, you probably couldn't give me one. Maybe one small carpet cleaning company that's local in your area that might be, have an ad on TV, or you might hear about them every once in a blue in the news. But for the most part, our industry is just so basic, right? That everybody does the same type of shit. So I try to market myself and market my business in such a way that it makes it stand out. So because no one else decided to be on TV or be in the news or do a press release or get on the radio, don't mean I shouldn't. I could be the first to set the stand, which is why it seem like it's easy for me to get accounts. It's not easy, but it's not as hard as it used to be, because using the media is a polite way to establish credibility in the marketplace. So whenever people are looking for your service, they're going to call you first because they see you the most in the media. They see you the most in the news, or they see your advertisement on television. So they're going to call you first, as how we would do with the local lawyers. I mean, if you go through your local yellow pages, right, you could see countless lawyers. But if you go through your local yellow pages, you probably know which lawyer you will already want based on who advertised in the area, who's more popular in the area, just because of the way they move, because they advertise and they always in the news, etc., etc. So thanks. I rehab houses. Um, you just pretty much have to, Chico. You just pretty much have to pay him a visit, right? So whatever company you're interested in, you just have to sit down and talk to them. You know, evaluate their stuff. You know, meet with them, and then you have to decide if it's worth it, right? Because if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you it's not, because I know what comes along with doing it opposed to being independent. You know what I'm saying? But I don't, I don't want you to mark yourself out behind, behind me, based on what I say. I would want you to do your own due diligence, your own homework, and then you decide. Just making sure you guys don't have any more questions before I let go.